Michael Jordan walks into a college gym carrying a worn basketball when a 6'6" senior looks at him and laughs, says, "You're just another freshman who thinks he's special." What happens in the next 8 seconds doesn't just prove the senior wrong, it changes everyone's understanding of what competitive fire really means. Chapel Hill, North Carolina, October 91, Tuesday afternoon, the Dean E. Smith Center practice facility. Not the main arena where fans pack in on game nights. This is where Carolina basketball actually happens, where reputations are built, where legends are forged in sweat and relentless competition. The gym is half full, maybe 20 guys scattered across 2 courts, varsity players, walk-ons, scrimmagers invited to push the team. All of them good, really good. The worst player here was probably a state champion, but at Carolina, that means nothing. You prove yourself here, or you sit. You earn your minutes, or you transfer. Simple as that. The air is thick with competition. Shoes squeaking on hardwood, balls bouncing, players talking trash between drills. This is Carolina basketball under Dean Smith. Every moment matters. Every rep counts. Every possession is a test. Michael Jordan pushes through the door. 18 years old, 6'6", lie 95 pounds, wearing Carolina blue practice gear and clean white shoes. New shoes, freshman shoes. Shoes that haven't proven anything yet. By college basketball standards, he looks normal. Athletic, sure, but nothing that makes you stop and stare. Nothing that screams future Hall of Famer. He's just another freshman. One of Coach Smith's recruits. One of dozens who've walked through these doors, thinking they're special. Most of them learn quickly. Most wash out. Michael walks to an empty basket, sets down his worn leather bag, starts warming up. Basic layups. Right hand, left hand, nothing fancy, just fundamentals, the way Coach Smith demands, the way champions are built. A few players glance over, don't think much of it. Another freshman. They've seen hundreds. Most can't handle the pressure, the competition, the standard. Most realize they're not as good as they thought. One player watches longer than the others. Senior, 6'6", 220 pounds, built like a tank from 3 years in Coach Smith's program. His name is Marcus Webb, been here since 1978, seen freshmen at classes come and go, seen McDonald's, All-Americans humbled, seen hotshot recruits cry when they realize high school dominance means nothing here. Marcus has earned his place, started 20 games last season, averaged 8 points, 6 rebounds, solid contributor, respected, part of Carolina basketball tradition. And he's protective of that tradition, suspicious of freshmen who walk in like they belong before proving anything. Michael continues warming up. His movements are smooth, fluid, economical, nothing wasted. The product of 10,000 hours, of summers in gyms instead of at beaches, of choosing basketball over everything else. He transitions to shooting, 15-footers from different spots, perfect form, elbow in, wrist snap, follow through straight, the ball rotates backward. Swish, again, swish. Again, mechanical precision, muscle memory perfected through repetition. Marcos uncrosses his arms, walks over. That senior swagger, that territorial energy, that need to establish hierarchy before this freshman gets comfortable. He stops 10 feet away. You're Jordan, right? The freshman everyone's talking about. Not a question, a challenge. Michael catches the ball, holds it. Looks at Marcos, doesn't respond immediately, just waits. Reads his body language, his energy, his intention. Marcos continues. I heard you were some big-time recruit. McDonald's, All-American, Mr. Basketball in North Carolina, average 30 in high school or whatever. He says it dismissively, like high school achievements are children's games. Michael says simply, I did alright. Marcos laughs. Short, sharp, not friendly. You did alright. That's modest. But here's the thing about Carolina basketball, Jordan. It doesn't matter what you did in high school. Doesn't matter what the newspapers said. All that matters is what you do here, against us, against real competition. Michael nods. That's fair. Marcos steps closer. So here's my question. You're listed at 6'6". That's small for a shooting guard who wants to score in this conference. You're not quick enough to be a point guard. Not big enough for small forward. Ralph Sampson is 7'4" at Virginia. Patrick Ewing is 7-0 at Georgetown. Where exactly do you fit? Other players are noticing now. Conversations trailing off. Ball stopping. Attention shifting to this corner. To this confrontation brewing between senior and freshman. Michael's voice stays calm. I fit wherever Coach Smith needs me. Marcus waves this away. That's a politician's answer. That's what every freshman says. But that's not what you think. You think you're special. I can see it in how you carry yourself. He pauses, looks Michael up and down slowly, deliberately, and honestly. Jordan, you're too small, too light, too in between. Not special enough at any one thing to dominate at this level. You're just another player. The gym goes completely silent, dead quiet. Everyone stopped, everyone watching. This is the moment the challenge has been issued. Public, direct, undeniable. Michael sets the ball down, slowly. Looks at Marcus, eye contact that doesn't waver. 5 words, that's all he says. Want to go one-on-one? Marcus blinks, surprised. Most freshmen would apologize, would defer. But Michael just challenged him, directly, in front of everyone. The other players react. Oh, sounds. Someone just crossed the line. And now there's no going back. Marcus can't back down. Not in front of everyone. He grins. Alright, freshmen, let's go. First to 11, winner's ball. Make it, take it. The players immediately form a circle. This is happening. Freshman versus senior. Unproven versus established. They say this is how respect gets earned. Through competition, through proving yourself when everyone is watching. James Worthy stops his shooting drill, walks over, stands at the edge of the circle. Sam Perkins joins him. Everyone, all eyes on this matchup. Marcus and Michael step into the circle, face each other at the top of the key. Marcus checks the ball hard, making a statement. This isn't friendly, this is war. Michael catches it, calm, composed, like his heart rate hasn't changed. He holds the ball, looks at Marcus, studies his stance, then he moves, and everything changes. One, dribble right, hard, aggressive. Marcus shifts to cut off the lane, but then Michael's left hand flashes down, crosses over, so fast Marcus's eyes can barely track it. The ball switches hands like magic. Marcus's weight is wrong. Leaning right, committed, can't recover. Michael's shoulder drops, explodes left. First step is lightning. By Marcus before Marcus can react. His feet are cement. Michael elevates at 15 feet. The exact spot he was shooting from earlier. Perfect form. Elbow tucked, wrist cocked. Release at the highest point. The ball leaves his fingertips with perfect backspin. Time slows. Everyone watches the ball float. Rotate, descend, swish. Pure, nothing but net. 8 seconds. That's all it took. 8 seconds from check ball to basket. 8 seconds to expose 3 years of college training. 8 seconds to prove that size doesn't matter when skill and will combine. The gym explodes. That shocked sound. Players jumping, grabbing each other. Mouths open, eyes wide. James Worthy's face breaks into a huge grin. He just saw something different. Something rare, something that happens maybe once in a generation. Marcus stands frozen. Behind his eyes, you can see it. The realization, the shock, the understanding that this freshman isn't normal. He checks the ball again, harder this time, angry, not at Michael, at himself. For underestimating, Michael takes the ball, same position. Marcus is ready now, stands lower, hands active, not getting embarrassed again. Michael jab steps right. Marcus doesn't bite. Then Michael rises up, same spot, same form. Marcus contests hard, hand right in his face. Perfect defense, swish. Again, pure, like Marcus isn't there. 2-0. Winner's ball, Michael's not giving the ball back. Check ball, third possession. Marcus is pressing, more physical. This is his strength. 3 years of college weight training versus a freshman. Michael drives, Marcus bumps him. Hard. Legal but aggressive. Michael absorbs the hit. Doesn't slow, spins baseline, creates space with impossible footwork. Rises up from 8 feet. Soft touch of the glass. Perfect bank. 3-0. James Worthy whispers to Sam Perkins. We might have a problem. What kind of problem? The good kind. The kind where we win a national championship. The game continues. 4-0. 5-0. Marcus gets lucky. 5-1. But then Michael answers. 6-1. 7-1. 8-1. Every possession is a masterclass. Things you can't teach. Things that come from internal fire that burns hotter than normal. At 10-1, Marcus is gasping, not just physically tired, mentally exhausted. This freshman just dismantled him, made 3 years of college basketball look meaningless. Final possession. Game point. Michael has the ball, but instead of just finishing it, Michael looks at Marcus, says something quiet, "Thank you." Marcus is confused. For what? For challenging me, for showing me what college basketball is. I needed this. The words are genuine, no sarcasm, just truth. Michael rises up, same 15-footer that started this. Swish, 11-1, game over. But Michael doesn't celebrate, doesn't talk trash. Instead, he walks to Marcus, extends his hand, a genuine gesture of respect between competitors. Marcus stares at the hand, pride screaming at him to reject it. But something else wins, the understanding that this kid just showed him what real greatness looks like. He takes the hand, shakes firmly. "You're something special, Jordan?" Michael nods. "I'm just getting started." And that's the truth. This wasn't Michael Jordan at his peak. This was just the announcement. The moment everyone realized something truly special just arrived. James Worthy walks over, future Hall of Famer. He looks at Michael, just nods. That single nod means everything. "Welcome to the family." Coach Smith was watching from his office window, makes a note in his legendary notebook. One word, competitive. That night Marcus calls home, tells his father about getting destroyed, about feeling inadequate. His father asks, "What are you going to do about it?" "Get better. Use it as fuel. Let him push me to become more than I thought I could be." That's the right answer. Son, champions don't resent greatness. They learn from it. The next morning, Marcus shows at about 6 a.m. Empty gym. Just him and the ball and the work. The door opens, Michael walks in. Same time, same purpose. They look at each other, no words needed, just mutual respect. They work out together, both become better. 4 months later, March 92, NCAA championship game. North Carolina versus Georgetown. Final seconds, down 1. Timeout. Everyone thinks the ball is going to James Worthy. The senior, the star, the safe choice. Coach Smith looks at Michael, the freshman. "You're taking the shot." Michael doesn't hesitate, just nods. The ball finds Michael on the left wing, 16 feet, same spot from practice. Defender closes hard, hand in his face. Michael rises. Same form, swish, championship, legend born. After the game, Marcus finds Michael. "That shot, same shot from practice. You've been preparing for this your entire life." Michael smiles. "Every single day since they told me I wasn't good enough. This is what I do with doubt. I turn it into fuel. Does it ever stop? The need to prove people wrong?" Michael's smile fades. Those competitive burning eyes. "No, it never stops, because there's always someone else. And that's good. That's fuel. The moment you stop needing to prove people wrong is the moment you stop being great." 30 years later, Marcus coaches high school basketball. One of his players lets doubt destroy his confidence. Marcus pulls him aside, tells him about October 91. About a freshman who got called too small. About 8 seconds that changed everything. The player asks, "What happened to that freshman?" Marcus smiles. "He became Michael Jordan. 6 championships, 5 MVPs. Greatest basketball player who ever lived. But that day, he was just an 18-year-old kid who refused to believe he was too small." That's what 8 seconds created. Not just a basket. A legacy. Proof that doubters give you fuel. 8 seconds to prove them wrong. A lifetime to prove them right.